Now, so we can get into some architectural, we'll actually draw this floor plan, and then we'll do the elevations, and then we'll do some, see if we can do some 3D images. Alright, so basically we'll start with the floor plan. Since it's 36 by 36, I would just recommend using a rectangle command. If you select that rectangle command, you can click anywhere on the screen. I usually prefer you click on the bottom left. You'll see why. Click it once. You don't click it when you think it's 36, but what you have to do is type in D for dimensions. It's on the bottom, gives you that option. So you type in D for dimensions, and you type in 36. Enter for the length. The length is on the x-axis, and the width is going to be on the y-axis. So if it wasn't 36 by 36, it was 36 by 42. Our first number was 36. The second number will be 42. But since it's a box, it's 36 by 36. And the third specification it's asking for is where do you want to place it. So I'll place it right there. So I click and it's done. We have this. It's one polyline because it's a rectangle command. So it comes as one single combined line, which is fine for the moment, but we're probably going to explode it later, so we can make that door. But since we have the wall exterior and we have it in one polyline, what I recommend to do is we do this offset command. So you go to the right side, right under mirror. This is offset. Your other option is to go on over here. Actually, no, sorry, it's right over here. Offset. Select that. And the wall thickness is 6, 7, 8. It's exterior wall. It's 8 inches. So type in 8, enter. I don't have my units set up, so I'm just going to write 8 without using the abbreviations for inches or feet. Actually, that's no, that's going to be wrong because we got 36 feet. That's going to be 8 inches. Alright, because if I do it right now, you'll see that that's way too big of a wall. So I apologize. That rectangle that we made is not supposed to be 36 inches, but 12 times that size. Yeah, 12 times that size. So it's okay. We'll fix that. You know how? We're going to use our scale command. Use scale. You're going to select that object. You have scale up here too. That's your second way of selecting it. You're going to select that rectangle. You can just select one point. It's going to select the whole thing because, again, it is a polyline, so it's one line. It's asking you if you want to select any more lines. No, you're done. So you click Enter or Space, and you can right-click on your mouse. It gives you, now it's asking you to specify a base point. You will specify any point on the screen, really, but I would recommend somewhere in the middle of the square or one of the corners, something like that, because that's where it's going to scale from. And you click in that area. You can see if you move your mouse slowly, it's getting bigger. Now, since we did 36 inches by 36 inches, and it's actually 36 feet, you just multiply by 12. 12, and so you do 12, you type in 12, and it's going to be 12 times bigger. If you did 0.5, it's going to be half the size. So let's do just 12. It's going to be very big. You won't even be able to see it. That's okay. There's two ways. Instead of scrolling up and down to get to the actual whole view, what you can do is when you look at your mouse, you have that scroller. Just double click on it, and it does what zoom extents does. So it's the same thing as typing zoom E. Zoom enter, E enter. Then you actually have duration at the bottom. You can zoom out a little bit more, just get a better view of it. And then we'll go back to our offset command. So offset again, over here or over here, or you can go to modify offset. So that's really 3 options. It's set at 8 because we already had it set at 8, so I can just type in enter or space, or I can type in 8, enter. I'm just going to do space. I'm going to select the exterior, and now it's asking me to specify a side to offset it at. If I click outside the box, it will offset out. If I click inside the box, it will offset inside, and that's what I want. It gives me a perfect 8-inch thick wall all around. exactly what we wanted. Our next step is we're going to change these lines from polylines to just regular lines, so we can actually modify the drawing and do the cutout for the door and add windows and stuff like that. To do that, what you want to do is select your exterior, like so, both lines, and we're going to explode. Explode is right here at the bottom, or you can go to your modify, the arrow key down, and explode. It shows like a box that's going to explode into pieces. That's what explode is all about. So it's like that. And now exploded it, each line is separate. So it's its own identity. Like that. That's what we want. Our next step would be to provide a location of the door, which will be, we can put it in the center. To do that, what I would do, a simple way, is I would use the center of my regular line, and I draw a line from the midpoint of this line right here. My object O-snap is on to midpoint, it's on. That's why I can get the triangle. The cool part also, if you're wondering what all these mean, you can either, you hold your mouse and wait for it what it specifies. This one's called endpoint, triangle, tells you midpoint. What you can do is actually go over here, right click on this, go to settings, gives you all of them and each symbol of what it represents. So just in case you're wondering, at some point they'll be memorized, engraved in your head. So, there's actually a lot of programs that use the same type of symbols, which makes it a lot better for everybody. Okay, so that's just an additional side fact. Again, I went to line from midpoint to midpoint, like so. Click enter or space to get out. So I have a line that's right in the middle, from one to the other line. And what I need to do next is I'm going to actually use that line and offset it, specify distance to create the hole for the door. The door hole will be 40 inches. The actual door is 36, but you gotta add in extra space for the joist, the frame, which is usually 2 inches. So we have that line right in the middle. What I need to do is make a copy on top 20 inches and one line on the bottom 20 inches. So I use the copy command, or you can do the offset. So I'm going to use the copy. Just select that small line I created. I'm going to enter, because that's all I wanted to select. I'll pick a point anywhere on the screen, and I'm going to move my mouse so it's going up. I'm going to type in 20. Then I'm going to go down. I'm going to type in 20 again. Now I can delete that middle line. Oops. Oh yeah, wrong escape. Keyboard. And I just delete that middle one. And actually that is the door right there. Space. Let me just make sure everybody's cut up to this, and then we'll keep going. So what we're going to do next is trim. So you go to your trim command, you go up here, trim, or over here, select that trim. This, of course, like I always say, select the whole thing. So much easier. Click enter or space, and then just click what you want to trim. And just enter, exit. And you actually have your slot. Our next step is we're going to add windows. Actually, I'll let you guys do walls by yourselves. So we're just doing the windows together. Which is, we'll use the actual line we have here. We're going to select that line. We're going to copy it. So I select the copy command. Copy or copy. And click anywhere on the screen. I'm going to copy it up 72 inches, which is 6 feet. So I type in 72, and I'm going to make the window, what size? Give me a size. Anybody? 36. Alright, 72, 36. 108. So I type in 108. That gives me a 36-inch window. Now instead of doing the same thing on the other side, you know, selecting it, copying it over and stuff, that's just too much work, and I'm not feeling like doing it. But actually, before I show you, I was going to use mirror to do that, but we're going to actually finish this window before we do that. So what I recommend is zooming into your window you just created, which is 36, but you offset 72 and then offset or copy 108. And we're going to do 2 inches. We're going to select that line, we're going to copy it in or offset it inside 2 inches. And you're going to do the same thing with the other side, 2 inches. You know, something like that. Now, of course, I can use blocks and put blocks here as the whole window, but we're going to actually design it from scratch. I know there's ways you can do it without actually designing the window. But we're going to go to our line command, and we're going to select the midpoint of the inner lines, like so. Midpoint. Be careful not to select the endpoint. If you can't get the triangle, just zoom in. It'll just make your life so much easier. And you click. That's actual regular design of a window. Everybody understands that it's a window. So what you want to do next, if you want the window to be at this location, the same location distance, I would just select the whole window. Make sure not to select the actual walls. Just want the window. And you're going to use your mirror command. So your mirror command is over here on the right side, or it'll be right here. There. And we can't really select the middle of the door because that's actually the center. There's no way of getting to it, but we have a wall right here, and it does have a center. Midpoint. So midpoint. You click that, and then you move your mouse to see which way is going. So if I move it up, it's going to mirror it to this. If I move it down, it's going to mirror it to the exact spot I want. So forth. So you just got to be careful how you do it. And it's going to ask you, do you want to erase the original one? It's set at no for default, so just click enter or space, and it won't delete the original. The thing about the other option, if you guys don't feel like, or you don't have a wall to use as a midpoint, let's say I'm trying to make a mirror of this between this point here and this point here, what you can do is select the window, go to mirror, and you do shift and right click, and it gives you that options menu here where the snappings are. And there's a cool one that's called mid between 2 points, which is the midpoint between 2 points. Defines it for you. You click on that, you pick one endpoint, the other endpoint, and then it actually selects that center right there, which is this actual center, midpoint of the door. You click and no, so for erase original, and you have that window in that same spot. Let me go over there. Alright, so another tool that we're going to be learning right now is the rotate copy command. What you need to do is, before we get started, we're going to draw a line from this corner here to this corner here, so we can get the center, midpoint of this line, which is the middle of the wall. And what we're going to do is select both these windows here, like so. We're going to our rotate command. It's asking us to specify a base point. Our base point is going to be actually the center, the midpoint of this line, right there, that triangle. And now before we actually rotate it, because if we rotate it right now, we'll lose what was here. So don't do anything. I'll do it and show you how it's done wrong. See, I lose these too. Now let me go back. So again, I select both windows, go rotate. All right, and I missed. Darn it. Sometimes if you rush, it doesn't work out for you. Alright, so I'm back in the same spot you guys were. And what you want to do is, the bottom of here gives you an option. The option is to copy reference. Just type in C for copy. And now when you're rotating it, make sure you do a horizontal rotate, so it rotates 90 degrees, and you click, it will make a copy as it rotates. So it leaves the original ones behind. If you just do a regular rotate, you lose those originals. They get moved, they get rotated. So that's a cool fact about that. Then of course, if you guys want, you can just select your windows and copy them over to the other side, like so. And these two, same also, like that. And I clicked on the endpoints, have anything, and the intersector from the other side. That's why I got all the windows on each side equally. Not too artistic, but to do that, what I need you guys to do is select the bottom line, not the top one, because that's actually shorter than the overall length of the house. So do select the bottom line, go to copy command, and we're going to copy it down, I'll say about there. So I did 250 inches or something. That's fine. We have that line, that's going to be our base of the front view. We're going to do another copy going up, or you can offset it, and we're going to do 8 feet, so 96 inches. Actually, that's not that tall. Actually, it's going to be a little bit more than 96 because I added the joist. So we'll do, what do you say, 120? 10 feet? Yeah, 120, which is 10 feet. Do enter or space again, get out of the command, and we can close this up by drawing lines from endpoint to endpoint, endpoint to endpoint. That's actually the wall. We still have to add the roof. So our roof is going to be, it's going to be a little bit longer. Gives us an overhang of 12 inches. 12 inches. So you're going to do a line. You can extend this line. Gives you that option, or you can actually. We're not going to extend the line. We're just going to draw a line from the end point here. We go over 12 or 1 foot. Do the same thing on the other side, or you can just mirror it, but I'm doing it this way. 12 over, and the height will be, give me a number, 36, 48. No, 8 feet, that's a steep, oh, it's a 2 floor. I don't have too much room, I only have, actually I do have enough room. Alright, 4 feet, 48 inches. Now instead of going through the hassle of drawing 48 in here, or here's actually, I'll show you a couple of different ways of doing this. Let's have a line, I'm drawing a line to close this box. What I can do, if I click on this, I don't click on it, if I move my mouse to the end point over here, and I move my mouse up, it will actually draw this reference green dashed line that emphasizes that your line is perpendicular to the end point at the bottom. So you just can click, it'll be perfect, and then close it up, or you can type in C maybe, like that. That's one option. No, because if I didn't start as a polyline, so it wouldn't work. If I, let's see, I think it won't work. So I drew it from here, then I went to here, and if I type in C, it won't work. But your other option is, let's say I had these two corners, I could just do a rectangle. I have one corner of the rectangle, the other. Done. That actually might be a faster way of doing it than going over and trying to make sure that it's all straight with this one, especially if it's a more detailed drawing. Then you're better off just drawing the rectangle. Just gotta remember that this is a rectangle that you're on. This may cause issues or may not, depending on what you're drawing. So keep that in mind. Your next step is we're gonna draw the front. The good part about the front is that it's actually the same size. So what we can just do is just copy this. Except the roof's gonna be different. How are we gonna design the roof? Oh, let me pause this for a second. Alright, so we figured out what we're going to do to the roof. We're going to actually do a triangle from both sides. So you just need additional line. Go to line command. We're going to draw one from this endpoint to the midpoint to the endpoint. Like so. Click escape or enter. We have one whole side done. What we're going to do is actually, since the windows are in the same spot, instead of copying it over, we'll draw in the windows first and then copy it over. Why make twice the work when you do it once? So we're going to use these windows as reference to design our windows right here. I'll show you two different ways I can do this. One option is you can use your line command. You can go over to this window right here, to the endpoint, and hopefully your hands are too shaky. You can go straight down, and you're going to draw a line that's straight, like so. These are all going to be reference lines. And again, do the same thing. Actually, instead of doing the same thing, tracing them over, which will take you forever, I should have done it differently. What I'm going to do is select that line, use my copy command, and I'm just going to copy it over. Like it started from here, so copy, click, 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 and move over to the next window, click, 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 enter. So it actually made exact replica of this window with these lines right here. That's one way of doing it. I should have done it from the beginning. I should have just, I'll show you guys how to do it again. I should have just selected this window right here, went to copy, select the edge over here. As I go down, I recommend zooming in. I'm just doing it so you guys can see what I'm doing. Because sometimes you can't hit the right endpoint, so you have to get an insert, as you said. Like so. You got that. Technically, I should have just done one window and then made a mirror. Alright, we'll do that. I'm going to delete this because that's going to actually provide me with additional work. We'll delete that. We're just going to work with one window. Once I have that one window completely done, I'll just copy it over. That way I don't have to do it twice. So we have our window. It's going to be 36 inches from the floor and 48 inches high. So to do that, I select the bottom. I go to copy. Select anywhere on the screen, or you can use the offset command. I'm going to go up 36. And then do the math. 84 inches. 84. 84 is my other dimension. So that's the top and bottom of the window. I should have a window frame, which is 2 inches. I have these two, which is great. I just need 2 more. So I need to offset or copy these 2 lines to the inside. So I go to offset. I type in 2, enter. I'll select that, go down, select that, go up. So I have something like this. There's 2 options you can do in here. You can either trim it from all around, or use fillet. You guys know how to trim it, but just in case, I'll show you how to trim it, and then I'll show you how I would fill it. Select the whole object with a trim, right click, and just remove what I don't want. Like that. That's one option. The other option is you go to fillet. You make sure your radius is set at 0. That way there is actually no radius on it. And you zoom into your area and you select these by clicking enter. By clicking space or enter, you go back to your command and you do each one. And then you can do the inside too. Like so. So that leaves without those actual additional lines that I had before. With the trim command, I had these lines here. I'll show it to you where I had them. I had one like that on all sides. That was with the trim. Without the trim, with using just the fillets, I have an open whole box. I don't mind which way you have it, but in case you did the trim part and you do want it to look like the fillet part, so I'm going to go back. Oh wait, I went too far. There we go. Let's say I see the fillet. I have these additional lines. You can do the fillet again. You can use the trim if you really want to, or you can select the lines and just drag them from the blue point to the intersect. Actually, I'm just going to do a design like this. And you can do the same thing with the fillet. If you want to change it to have lines that extend, you could always select the line and click the blue and extend it also. So you can reduce it or increase it. Here's my window. That window is going to be exactly the same as this one, and to get this window to that location, I can do is select and copy it over from using this as a base point. So I use this one base point to this same base point over here, and that actually moves the exact copy, that same distance. Your other options, since we did kind of mirror everything, you can just select the object and mirror it like so. Let me just check everybody's to this point and we'll move on.